Let me paint a picture and tell me if this sounds familiar. Two professionals, both educated, both working full-time. She's in marketing, earning around $62,000 a year. He's in IT, pulling in about $71,000. Together, they make roughly $133,000. On paper, that puts them comfortably in the upper tier of American households. This is the kind of income that's supposed to mean security. Retirement contributions, nice vacations, a sense that you're finally ahead. But instead, they're anxious. Their savings would barely last a couple of months. An unexpected car repair went straight on a credit card. They're exhausted. They barely see each other during the week. And somehow, despite doing everything right, it feels like they're constantly one bad month away from trouble. That moment where you look at your income and think, we make too much money to feel this broke. If that thought has ever crossed your mind, this video is going to explain why. And I spend an unhealthy amount of time studying why modern two-income households often feel weaker, not stronger, than single-income families did decades ago. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's the story we were sold. Two incomes are better than one, it sounds obvious. If one person earning $50,000 can support a family, then two people earning $50,000 each should be thriving. Extra money, extra safety, extra freedom, but that's not what happened. What actually happened was one of the quietest financial traps in modern America. Economists call it the two-income trap, a term popularized by Elizabeth Warren years before she entered politics. After studying thousands of bankrupt households, the conclusion was uncomfortable. Two incomes didn't reduce risk. They increased it. Families with two full-time earners were more likely to collapse financially than those with one. Not because they were careless, but because they had no margin left. To understand why, we have to rewind. In the early 1970s, most middle-class families ran on a single income. That one income covered the basics. Housing took about a quarter of earnings. Public schools were accessible without buying into elite neighborhoods. Healthcare was manageable, and there was room to save, but here's the key part most people miss. The second income wasn't gone, it was dormant. If something went wrong, illness, layoffs, emergencies, the other parent could step into the workforce. That unused income was the safety net. Fast forward to today. Two incomes aren't the backup plan anymore. They're the baseline. Most married households with kids now require both paychecks just to stay afloat. And while household income is higher than ever, the cost of participation in the middle class has exploded. Housing prices have doubled relative to inflation. Healthcare costs have risen multiple times over. Childcare alone can rival a second mortgage. Education costs have skyrocketed. The second income didn't create wealth. It got absorbed, every dollar. Now let's talk about what actually happens to that second paycheck. Say one partner earns $70,000, the other earns $50,000. That $50,000 feels like the difference between survival and success. But first, taxes take a bite. Because it stacks on top of the first income, much of it gets taxed at higher marginal rates. Now you're closer to $35,000 take-home. If you have kids, childcare enters the picture. That can easily be $15,000 a year for one child. Now you're at $20,000. Add commuting costs, gas, maintenance, parking, vehicle depreciation. That's another several thousand gone. Then come the exhaustion expenses, more takeout, more convenience services. Less time to cook, clean, or manage life efficiently. By the time the math settles, that $50,000 job might be adding a few $1,000s a year to the household. Sometimes less, sometimes nothing. Sometimes it actually costs money. And yet the lifestyle decisions were made based on the gross number. The bigger house, the larger mortgage, the cars sized for two incomes. Everything works as long as nothing ever goes wrong. That's the trap. Here's where things snap shut. In the past, losing one income meant tightening the belt. Today, losing one income can mean losing the house. Because both paychecks are already spoken for, there's no reserve left to activate. That's why so many households making six figures still can't handle a modest emergency. Not because they're irresponsible. Because they're operating at full capacity with zero slack. Like an engine running at redline every single day. So what's the way out? It's not about quitting jobs or rejecting ambition. It's about how you structure your life. Most families build expenses around their maximum income. The alternative is building around minimum survivability. You design your fixed costs so that one income can carry them. Housing, transportation, core living expenses. The second income becomes optional. Savings, investments, debt elimination. That changes everything. It restores flexibility. Within a few years, the money you protected starts working for you. Compounding replaces stress. Options replace panic. Suddenly, you have what two incomes promised but never delivered: security. Here's the real truth. The two-income trap was never about money. It was about flexibility. Previous generations had margin. We traded it for appearances. Big numbers on paper don't equal safety. Cash flow isn't the same as resilience, and two incomes aren't better than one if both are already spent before they arrive. Once you see the trap, you get to choose differently. And that choice is where real wealth starts. If this changed how you think about money, hit like, subscribe, and stay curious. Because the most dangerous financial trap is the one you don't know you're standing in.